Call to order the Whiteland Redevelopment Commission meeting at 7 o'clock for July 10th, 2025. Would you, Steve, please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Tom Carroll.
Here.
David Hawkins.
Here.
Amanda Trimble. Here. John Venter.
Present.
Brian Webb.
Here.
Kev is not here right now. We have a quorum.
What do we have for swearing in?
I think nine, as far as I know. That was just the standard entry there.
Okay, comments or questions on last month's meeting for June 12th, 2025? Hearing none, I'll have a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Have a motion to accept. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Can I vote by roll call, please?
Tom Carroll.
Yes.
Amanda Trimble.
Abstain.
John Venter.
Yes.
Brian Webb.
Yes.
Dave Hawkins.
Yes.
Passed 4-0-1.
Okay, voucher packet for July 12th, 2025. Comments, questions? Hearing none, I'll have a motion to accept.
Make a motion, we accept.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Can I have a vote by roll call?
Tom Carroll.
Yes.
Amanda Trimble.
Yes.
John Venter.
Yes.
Brian Webb.
Yes.
David Hawkins.
Yes.
Passed 5-0.
Financial report.
Last month, we got our tip money. And I put on there so you could see what we put in the bank. And all the documentation to go with that. That was for $1,065,125.34. And the copies of the invoices were Crossroads and Williams Barrett. Interest rate for the account was $5,440.34.
That's the interest, just for the record, not the rate.
3.6.
You said the interest rate was at.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, no worries.
That. Current balance. $2,176,173.43. And the packet was for $3,625.20.
Comments or questions?
I would note on the tip revenue, excuse me, that of the $1,065,000, 880 of that is the town share. The rest is basically the patch projects.
Patch 2. Is it patch 2 or patch?
Well, it's primarily patch 1.
Okay.
Patch 2 really hasn't gotten far long enough to really generate much.
Okay.
You said 880, that
That was a round number.
880,000 or
$880,360 is the town's combined share.
Oh, most of it.
And yeah, all but 46,000 came from our existing. 6,000 came from the patch area.
Okay, moving on to old business, which we have none.
Can I ask one question? Was that,
Sure.
did that meet expectations of what we anticipated?
Yeah.
Okay, right on.
Well, not,
Or
I can't say right on,
Close
but in the ballpark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. do. Yep.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, moving on to new business. Consolidation of bond financing for roundabout at Bob Glidden and Main Street.
You recall, you all approved the design and engineering for the roundabout, the proposed roundabout at Whiteland, Bob Glidden, year and a half ago. And with that, in September of last year, we approached the council to discuss the ability to discuss sending this project out to bid for construction, with the hopes that we would be constructing in 2025. So the council in September approved us to go ahead and bid it pending financing. And as we've been working through our reconciliations and the best way to finance our projects on our capital improvement plan, it's taken a little longer than what we were projecting. We never did go to bid this project. Again, it was just kind of a pending financing. We didn't want to hold up any construction companies. And so we did postpone any kind of bidding. As we've been talking with Adam Stone, our financial consultant, he has come to us with an option, a creative option that the state has allowed entities such as the town to have a unique type of financing structure. And so with this, I'll do my best to explain some of it, but I'm really going to rely on Stephen to assist as well. It is the type of financing that we are looking at is a bond. So any bond that we would issue, if it's going to use redevelopment commission dollars, not only needs your approval, but would also need the town council's approval. This financing is kind of, it's similar to, and Amanda might understand this, and John possibly with your experience at school corporations, it's similar to a building fund that the school corporation develops to use as their conduit for their financing of larger projects. So with this financing option that we're looking at is called a property tax lease rental bond. With that, we have to create a redevelopment authority, which is different than this body and is different than the town council. That body is similar to, and a couple of you were involved when we did the patch bonds, and we had to create an economic development commission. So it's just another party that has to help make sure, is this the right path for the town to take? I kind of use the term a conduit, that this redevelopment authority is the conduit. With this type of bond, one, it does not impact the tax. So that is a critical part that was important to the town council with the last bond that we went through. How is this going to impact our taxpayers? This particular bond would not impact our taxpayers. How we would pay for this bond, if this body would agree, is the revenues we would bring in our future tax revenues when we do receive our tax settlements. Those revenues, part of those revenues would be earmarked to pay back this bond. The other thing that is enticing with this one is it does not start the clock. So it allows us to use our revenues we receive through our June and December settlements and not start the clock where we're, have 25 years before that area of our TIF expires. But with that, again, we did talk to the council on Tuesday evening. They did give us the blessing to proceed to come to you all and to ask for your blessing to then create the redevelopment authority. Redevelopment authorities in this type of financing is very common with these types of projects. Adam Stone, again with Stone Municipal Group, has said that he's used done a lot of road projects, specifically using this type of financing. The bond that we're looking at is just under $2.5 million. It does include the construction of the roundabout. It also includes the artwork, and we're also looking at adding flock cameras, which are the license plate readers. For since it's out there by the interstate, that's something that the police chief had asked that would be good to install, and especially with a lot of the activity that we have going on around the interstate. So tonight it's kind of talking through, answering any questions you may have. It's all new to me, so don't feel like your questions may be a silly question, and Stephen is here to help fill in my blanks or cover anything that I miss.
One thing I would add is clarification is the reason that the 25-year clock get started is because read it as a, and most importantly, you are not legally pledging TIF revenue. It'll be structured to where the it's the redevelopment authority, which is the entity that's actually issuing the bonds, will, and council and you all together will agree to pay for the bonds out of various funds of the town, but not expressly pledging TIF revenue. It's the pledging of TIF revenue that triggers. And that's kind of the legal explanation for why the clock doesn't start. That said, the TIF revenue is what generally is expected to be what would pay for the bonds. Another important element of the structure is that the bonds, as we're proposing it, will be backed with property taxes. And the, if I remember correctly, certainly the redevelopment commission has the ability to impose a property tax. Not talked about that in the past, but that's separate from capturing TIF revenue. We don't expect that would be needed from a saleability or marketability of the bonds. To be able to say that it's backed by your ability or the town's ability have a tax that expressly pays for it helps you to get a better rate and be able to borrow money more cheaply. So that's one short explanation that I wanted to kind of make sure you were aware of. It is structured as a lease to where effectively, legally, you'll be leasing not only the, well, I'm still a little bit foggy, but there's going to be roads that will be leased by the redevelopment authority, and then you will be leasing from the redevelopment authority at minimum the area where the roundabout will be constructed. And that leasing mechanism is what allows you to pay to the redevelopment authority lease payments. It will then in turn around and pay to the bond purchasers. Hopefully that helps a little bit in terms of how it's structured. Yes, it is more, complicated in its structure, but that does provide benefits that are clearly. And bond counsel has been integrally involved in helping us with the structure and so forth.
Ideally, this would be a 10-year, but we could go to a 12-year. In the draft public hearing notice, we did put up to a 12-year lease. Then it would take the 10 to 12 years to pay this off. It can be paid off early is the way that we're going to, if we get to proceed, the way that we will bid this to the banks or whomever, the bond buyers, that we could pay this off early. So, and Adam Stone has, looked at the revenues that we're currently receiving through our tax settlements and projected, obviously we're just getting started with some of this coming in, and as abatements roll off, to where one, we have enough revenue, we're going to create enough revenue or money coming in from property taxes or if we end up using town property taxes to kind of back it as well. We have enough coming in to make those payments that would be due every 2 times a year. And then also, like I said, if you were asking, we would ask for an opportunity to pay that off early. So if we end up exceeding that, it would give us that ability to do so. I think the key thing, and again, I kind of mentioned the capital improvement plan at the beginning, is we have over $100 million worth of projects on our capital improvement plan. And I just got off a call this afternoon with Adam on our sewer project, that not only we're looking at close to a $40 million potential project there, but in addition, there could be another 10 to 15 million of just general maintenance that needs to be done. And so I think my capital improvement plan is more like I say mine, but the town's is more like $150 million. And that's just projects we've identified today. So again, this is kind of we're trying new things and looking at ways to be creative with our financing, to be smart about things. I know one of the items David and I have talked about is, well, we can pay cash. And, it's kind of like, do you want to deplete your savings account, or do you want to deplete your checking account now, or do we but do we take out a bond? Do we take out a loan to kind of pay this back incrementally, knowing that there's interest in there?
Yeah, but can I ask about that
Yes.
right there, that topic? Interest that we earn on savings versus interest of the bond. How do those compare?
So the bond that we are getting ready to close on for the fire department was 4.49%.
It's fine, 4.5-ish, and our rate was 3 something-ish. So you're effectively, you're gaining
Yeah.
a percent just to keep that realistic. You know what I mean? By keeping it and not paying early, you're not falling behind by the full rate of the bond because you're earning interest on this side. So it's about a percent loss for when you wait. Gotcha.
So the next step would be for us to we need to publish a notice of public hearing, and that would be coming forth at your next meeting. So this is just kind of an intro tonight. If you were open to us considering creating a redevelopment authority with the intent of working towards this lease type bond structure, we'd like to get your blessing on that tonight so we can move forward on the next steps. Any other questions?
So all debt associated to this bond would be for the redevelopment commission? Because I thought I heard the town had a hand in it.
Well, they'd certainly have to approve this. I'm not sure that they will be agreeing to help pay for it, though I think there is an element where they have the option, if it were to come to that.
Their expectation is that
But-
we'll fund the
Right.
entirety of the, and then on this document, I'm assuming that this is our annual payment requirement, which
That's
is
projected,
projected.
which is average of about 320,000 a year for 10 years.
I have a question. So if I'm hearing this correctly, you're saying that the bond that we're trying to do, it won't start the clock, because what that bond potentially is supposed to do is say that money is coming from different pots, not just from the TIF revenue. But if the council is saying that they expect it all and it is coming from TIF revenue, does that get us in some kind of, do you understand what I'm saying? If we go into it already thinking,
Right, and I think the simple answer is no, it doesn't create problems. Bond counsel at the council meeting Tuesday night, they went into a lot more detail than what we've done tonight in terms of explaining how it all works, and that they have done it multiple times throughout the state. And this is a common structure that they have no concerns about it, satisfying the requirements for not starting the clock and so forth.
Yeah, it's gotta be a combination of 3 factors. 1, a lease; 2, other monies that could pay for it; and 3, because it's a separate entity. It's not us doing it, really. It's somebody building it and we're leasing it from them. Somewhere in there, probably the last thing I said might carry the most weight. I'm speculating. Because this council isn't really.
Well, you will be involved.
Sure, absolutely.
And
But something has to make it different than normal.
right,
And those feel like those are the things that are different about this.
right.
Has to be one of those.
Question. And it kind of has to do with the project plus projects in the future. If we don't start the clock, that's great. If, can we use this tactic, if you want to call it a tactic, to keep not starting the clock for the next 10 years on different projects?
All I can say is potentially yes. I don't know, how that would play out. That would be a question for bond counsel.
Yeah, because Greenwood did things like build a pool. I feel like, I don't know, that feels like that might be outside. Like, what are you leasing
Well,
a
that's
facility? Like,
that's different.
no.
And there wasn't really, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, any question about the legal ability to do that. There's clear.
But you're definitely
statutory
starting the
authority.
clock on that project.
Right.
Which is that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That-
it's not no lease.
That was not an issue there.
So can we use this tactic on Sawmill and Whiteland Road then,
Possibly.
without starting the clock? So we can just kind of keep kicking the can down the road and never start the clock for a while.
Potentially.
Be careful of your payments, of
Yeah, we
course.
gotta
Yeah,
make payment.
as long as you're on the right side of the
Yeah.
ledger page, then yeah, you can go a long way without starting the clock.
And I think we're all aware of, this last legislative session is maybe not this coming year, but in following years will make it very challenging for government units to find their financing or to make sure they're generating enough revenue to offer the same services and such. So I've always been open to looking at different models and mechanisms to get the job done. And I think that's my biggest thing is we want to move forward with projects and not, hold back because we feel like, well, we don't have enough money or we don't have enough money in the bank. And if this one allows us to get a project started, and like you said, Tom, if there's an opportunity down the road and we can do another project similar to this with this mechanism, then certainly I think that that's something we need to continue to pursue. Just so, things are not getting cheaper. And that's one, negative to not being able to fit it here and get it going this year, is that meaning that next year the project is going to be more expensive because everything, inflation and such. But, I'm looking forward, and we know it's needed. We know that roundabout is needed at that intersection, and it only continues to get worse. So.
Carmen, is there a possibility of having bond counsel come in at the next meeting and kind of help explain a little bit more in depth? And I think that would help to answer a lot of questions.
And that next.
Done great. You guys have both done great explaining, but I still see kind of puzzled look on faces. And I think maybe if they were here and questions could be asked and all that, maybe it would help answer some questions.
Sure.
Okay.
Monday was the first I'd kind of heard about it, and then we talked about it council on Tuesday, and so I'm still very wet and understanding the process of that. So
Who could be eligible to be an our redevelopment authority member?
So the council president, town council president is the one that would appoint those, but I would definitely, we can talk offline. If you know of anybody that would be supportive of the project.
Is there ineligible people like us?
I don't think you can have representation from existing
Makes sense.
commission members, but I would say, because I asked that same question, like what type of folks would be good candidates, and obviously those that would be supportive of projects like this, or want this for the town. At first I was like, ooh, finance background, but then with this last bond, it was a bank that purchased the bond or is planning to purchase the bond. So, I mean, obviously if somebody has works at a bank or has that financial background, yes, that might be helpful, but if their potential institution would apply for that, that might be a conflict there, but, just, like I said, I think the biggest thing is people that in town, they do not have to be a resident of town, but it's encouraged that they are a resident of town, that want to see the forward progress of the town, and not just for this project, but anything else that may come before that redevelopment authority.
Can that redevelopment authority do multiple projects or is it just one?
Yes.
Okay.
Similar to the Economic Development Commission, they can do multiple.
If you have anybody, we can talk offline after the meeting. Propose that to the council president. So
All of our spouses. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I don't know.
I'm right that
Well,
as interest rates go down, bonds become more valuable. Is that the right economics?
Well, their prices rise.
Right.
It's in terms of value.
Wondering over the next 10 to 12 years, what is likely to happen to this bond? What we're getting into near term? I don't know. It's something to think about. I can look it up online or whatever. But if that bond becomes more and more valuable, it becomes less and less reason to pay it early. I mean, that's just some finances in play there, but I'm sure somebody would. Are those cameras the same as what the high school put in a few years ago?
I mean, it should be. It's very similar, and what we put into the bond is to purchase the cameras, 2 of them, and then purchase the first year subscription, and then after that, that would become part of the police department budget. So it's something that the school does. Yeah, the school does have them on 31. There's only one company that offers them, so you're really flock.
It's a network of.
I feel like I know what they are, but I don't know.
It's a network of license plate readers and there's several here in the county. So the nice thing is once you have access to, if we purchase them, then we get access to the one on 31 that's heading towards Whiteland. So if you have, somebody that's
You can
wanted or
actually
something.
access the ones in Greenwood.
Exactly.
Right.
I think it's all across the United
I was
States.
gonna say it may be.
You basically set your profile and you get alerts and you
Yeah.
can get an alert every 5 seconds if you really want,
If you
but
can afford it, I feel like it's a crime stopping network of sorts. Like it helps once you know someone's fleeing, like you can get them quicker.
The camera itself is not that expensive. The subscription is about $2,500 to $3,000 per camera per year. And so that's where I rounded it up in case we wanted to maybe add a 3rd camera. Burgersville also has stationary surveillance cameras that they have as part of their system. So when I spoke to them, just to kind of get an idea of what they have, theirs are at their entry points into their community. So they also have stationary surveillance cameras.
I'm kind of familiar with Flock because my son-in-law was a IPD. And a lot of theirs that they use constantly were vehicle mounted. And they can drive down the street. So he's suspended and doesn't have a driver's license and he's never had a driver. They have all this information available to him in the car. If that information is transmitted next door, they can be in Columbus by the time somebody figures out that, hey, we need to look at that car.
it's actually transmitted to your personal device, your phone device, or it could be set up on your computer. So as police officers always have a computer.
They got their in car.
Yeah, they're in car. That's how most of them access it.
Okay, so if it hits and they said, okay, this is a stolen car, a South Bend, then it pops up and.
Yeah, again, you set your profile to say, I want to see these cameras and I want to see it you can do suspended license, you could do wanted people, you could do, if you want to hit everybody that's suspended, you're going to be out here stopping 100.
No, I mean, that's.
But, if you're looking for wanted people or something, yeah.
That's good.
I think it's great that we're investing in it, honestly, especially with what we have out at the truck stops coming in and out. I think there's a potential to save a lot of people here in Whiteland for that.
I wonder if it's worth, putting it like advertising that is there. some sign, I want like deterrent style. I don't know.
I mean, it's like,
People are doing
I
that.
guess it's like when you tell kids, I don't know. I mean, Brian would probably have more information, but I would say if, you know, we have speed limit signs and people know they're there and they still don't follow
pay
it,
attention.
so or stop signs or whatever. I mean, I don't know that it would types of people that we're probably going to monitor probably do not care.
Really?
Me being a civilian, not having any clue.
And you can utilize it for searching for vehicles as well. So, you know, if you get a robbery at some location, you can just put in the plate number, and when it hits wherever, you know, if they're driving around Johnson County, it's going to say it's here, it's here, it's here, you know.
Is Bargersville getting good success with theirs? I mean, are they pulling
I
people
mean,
off?
I just called over there just to get an idea of what the subscription cost, because when you have to end up doing a sales call with the company when you're, you know, when I was trying to gather the information for the bond, the amount, the totals needed. But I mean, if we're able to move forward with it, we can definitely, you know, kind of learn. And I'm sure maybe the chief has more information on that, because I know that they get together.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, as long as the data just isn't dumped here on the desk.
It's not, I mean, and I would say Bargersville has success. I know Franklin has a lot of success, and so does Greenwood, with numbers of the stops that you hear over the radio.
Okay, thank you.
If you all, I don't know if we need to have them kind of take a vote or a nod of heads or consensus.
Just get a consensus to
To proceed.
proceed.
One more question.
All in
We're still unsure who owns it though, right?
At the end, the town will own it, right?
After the bond,
Yeah. After the lease is up.
Yeah, after the lease is up.
then during it, we're a little unclear who owns it. I don't know, some claim, I don't know, somebody has an accident, I don't know, making up whatever could happen to threaten the owner of that land, who's liable.
Oh, well, a body of the town would be owning it during, it would just be either, would it be the redevelopment authority or the redevelopment commission that would own it while it's being
Right, and
back?
there'll be a leasehold interest that the redevelopment commission will have in it. So they'll probably, all of the bodies of the town that we've talked about, council, the redevelopment authority, the redevelopment commission, will all be targets if that should happen. And I'm sure that the lease documents will address how that would be handled.
What do you need from us now?
Either a consensus or if you need to vote by roll call to proceed with this.
All in favor?
Well, didn't we discuss to have the bond people come next month?
Yeah, well, we need to give her a motion to go ahead and move forward with some of this, even though they'll be here next month to answer any questions that we have.
It'll be a public hearing at next month, so that would be even more appropriate for bond council to be here to ask.
Our vote tonight is just to continue to proceed, no commitment to.
Correct.
Yep, right?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Not sure I heard anything.
Ayes make it.
Heard two over here and Brian's. Don, did you aye?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I missed it. The 5-0.
Is the last sheet on here, that's the time schedule for,
That is the timeline for us if we were to proceed with the bond into close. And obviously, we could go to bid. And we would actually, if we start this timetable, we would go ahead and bid it this fall. And then with estimated, you know, wording of bid.
it looks like it doesn't start until next year anyway, October. Okay.
And we do have approval from the property owners where the Amazon building is to build. So it would be a full closure-ish. But we do have a right of entry from the property owners that where the Amazon building is to build like a temporary road so people can get to and from that industrial park there on the south side. But the west leg, it would be closed. So there'd be some fun detours, either up to exit 97, Worthsville, or going down to Franklin, or obviously that's where we would want to send truck traffic, keep them on the interstate. Or passenger vehicles could go out to Hurricane and up and around. So we'll coordinate that later. we get to move forward.
What's the projected,
Time
uh,
closure,
yeah, how long is it gonna be closed?
usually
How long does it
it's
take to
60
build that?
days if it can be closure, but with this type of roundabout and having it partially open, they're looking at a 90 to 110 days.
What would it take to do complete closure?
60 days.
But what would it take to do that?
You basically would be cutting off access to those warehouses.
So we
We
can't,
can access,
can't do anything on this, on the other side.
I just don't know that the county still owns most of that road, and I don't know that they would let us send all that truck traffic there. Down to 400, and then we could open up that bobsled dead ends there at 400.
Is that the same as Paul Hand Road?
Yes.
So, thank you. More to-
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? All right, Carmen, again, for the fire department generator and transfer switch.
So we did our invitation to quote, where you recall a few months ago, the total that you all had admitted was up. I did not give you guys any paperwork. We just did the quote opening yesterday. The 60,000 is what you guys had pre-committed for the generator. We did have a quote from Evapar, and because it was over 50,000, I had to send out an invitation to quote. So we might get to that in May after our meeting, and so we pushed it out till sent it out in June. Received 2 quotes. We had our bid opening committee yesterday. Received 2. One was from Evapar and the other was from Deem. The lowest bidder was Evapar, but their price changed from the 60,000 to 88,500. So they are the lowest bidder, and it's the process we have to go through. So now I guess my question is does this body want to pay the difference, or do we need to go find that money elsewhere? It'd be the extra 28,500, and that's for the generator and transfer switch for the fire department.
What other mechanisms would you have to pay for it? Said no.
Fire cumulative fund. They have a cumulative fund that we could make a request to the town council to have them pay the difference from that.
Do they have that kind of money in there?
Although
It's
they're wanting to spend a lot too.
cooling down very quickly.
But we still owe for the lift station generator too, correct?
Yes, that one's been back ordered. It's
Still?
Uh-huh.
I think I asked that question last month.
Yeah, there's still, they're waiting on, the lift station is done, but the generator. Next to it.
All right, comments,
I
questions?
just think they should consider having a little skin in the game. I'm not saying we shouldn't fund it, but I think when
I think
you
I
have a little skin in the game,
have to agree.
you
Appreciate it a little
appreciate
bit
it a
more.
little bit.
I respectfully think that it's probably nothing they did. They didn't like try to get more or anything. It just price went up on them.
Yeah.
In that case, I think we should pay it all, but I'm not upset if we don't.
Upset if we did.
What,
Opinion?
with this 88,000 or 60,000, whatever it is, is it gonna have to be back ordered and back ordered and back ordered like the other?
Very
one?
well be. And so that was one of the things that Evapar had reached out to me prior to submitting their quote to ask, because in there we put a timeline of, when you start construction and your timeline to finish. And so, if there would be something that's out of their control in the sense of ordering parts or materials, whatever that would be, that we can ask them for a timeline, but we kind of, I feel like it's out of their control if they can't get a certain, like, let's just say the switch. That's what held up one of our other projects where we got the pull behind generator. We were waiting on the switches and had to wait for those for quite a while. So I think, is that what they call the force majeure? It's kind of out of their hands.
Can you guys repeat what you said down there? Because I couldn't really hear you and I wanted to hear what you had to say about that.
He, John said he wouldn't be opposed or wouldn't be upset if we had to pay for it.
Okay, why though? What was the?
Because they weren't adding more to it. They weren't upgrading, asking for more. It was just the price on what they wanted went up. So if they had embellished or added or augmented what they wanted, then I kind of see, well, you asked for that price to go up, but that didn't. It's kind of out of their control. So I don't feel bad paying for the difference.
So that's normal?
Over a year.
I mean, it's been almost, I think we first proposed this in October of last year, wasn't
Oh.
it? It's been almost a year since.
That now makes sense. Okay.
So this $100,000 generator for the lift station, and we approved that.
Now, I don't know what I do not recall off the top of my head what the size of that generator was.
Right, I'm just saying, if it was approved previous, and by the time this thing comes in, this generator may cost $140,000. But we're locked in at 100.
The 88.5.
No, for the lift station.
Oh, yeah.
We're not discussing the lift station.
Understand,
right
we're locked into that thing. So when we approve the fire department, we're locked into that price, even though their price for the generator goes up and up and up.
The other, just for reference, the other bid that was submitted was $147,000.
Yeah, that was
So,
way up.
just for. It didn't quite quote they didn't follow the specs that we put together and actually quoted a bigger generator. I don't know if you remember me talking about that.
Did that though.
I mean, we put together the instructions, the bid specs, they still came back with 100 kilowatt and they kept their price at 147. So
Any more comments, questions?
I'll make a motion can we motion?
Yep.
I'll make a motion that we accept, what'd you call it? Avapar's quote of 88,500. And if we want the fire department to have a little skin in the game, then so we have.
Well,
No, you can't go both ways.
Oh, okay.
Politically correct. Yeah. Everyone votes yes for that.
I want to make sure we're clear what Harmon is, I guess, asking for from this body. And I thought the first thing you were asking for is, are you willing to pay more than what you previously committed?
Right.
And I didn't think we were yet asking for them to approve awarding the contract.
No, I asked for who wanted to pay the 88.5.
Well, it's 28.5 more.
Yeah, 28.5 more, 88.5 total.
Right.
Over the 60.
So the first ask would be, is the redevelopment commission interested, willing to pay some or all of the additional 28,500 to cover the Evapar's quote?
How are we voting on this? Is this vote for all of it or some of it or?
Whoever makes the motion, y'all can.
I withdraw my motion.
I'll make a motion to approve some, up to, I'll say $15,000 more for the generator, up to 75,000.
Have a motion for 75,000. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Have a motion, a second. Can I have a vote by roll call?
Tom Carroll,
Yes.
Amanda Trimble,
Yes.
John Venter,
Nay. Not enough. Yeah, for me.
Brian Webb,
Yes.
David Hawkins,
Yes.
pass 4-1.
So the second part, and we're still reviewing, because like I said, we just had the quote opening yesterday, and Stephen needs to review some items in their quote to ensure that they have complied with everything that we've asked them to. So the second, well, can I ask for them to approve it since
If they're not funding the whole
they're
thing,
not funding the whole thing?
you could,
Pending.
pending getting other funding to match.
Okay. But it would also be pending legal counsel review just to ensure that we have
Right.
all of the.
So I think what you would be recommending, and someone could make a motion to this effect, is to award a contract, or award the contract to Evapar, subject to, one, rest of the funding that's needed being secured by some other part of the town. And two, the contractual terms being worked out between Evapar and the town. And obviously Carmen and I would be.
And that puts us in a bind if they can't find the rest of the money.
Well, they'll have to come back to us.
There you go.
The bid is open on its face for 60 days. I don't know if you saw, they included in some of their other documentation that it was only a 30-day quote. It's a bit of a mess what they gave us, but
Stephen, can I ask for a revote on that for full amount?
yes, you may. I mean, basically, it's just another.
I feel like I was
Another motion.
and agreeing with it, because then I sat here and thought, what if they can't get the rest of the financing? And then it's like you said, then we're in a bind.
If you were going to revote, I would suggest a complete new motion to modify that prior motion in whatever fashion you want to. It has to be because the vote was 4-1, you changing your vote doesn't change anything.
Right.
So I assume that you want to do more than that.
Yeah, because I mean, the fire department needs this generator, just like the town needs their generators and everything. If they're not able to get the remainder of the funding, then we've put them in a bind.
Well, I think and sorry, not to step out, but I think the next step would be for them to come back and justify why this board should help them out with the rest of it.
Yeah, it's not saying that, we're not saying that we wouldn't entertain more in the future. What we're asking them is to put some skin in the game and come up with the other remaining, what is it? 13,500.
13,000.
And so if they come back and they say, hey, we can't find it, we're not gonna have it, then we could take another motion. Or you could do it today. It's totally up to you.
You say they have got the funds to come up with 13,500
As of today.
as of today. Do you know what their other expenditures are that they're looking at?
I mean, I do, but I don't. We're only halfway through the year. Obviously, with what they've appropriated, they've overspent in the cap cum, but they've also are getting ready to make some large purchases. So they'll have to look at additional appropriations, but the fund balances would support this, but I don't want to jump right in and say absolutely yes, they can. I mean, they have a couple $100,000 left in there, but again, kind of like what we talked about earlier, we don't want to spend everything, kind of thing. So what makes sense? So.
And am I hearing you correctly that for the fire department funds to be used for this 13,500, a new appropriation or additional appropriation would be needed? Is that correct or not?
Actually, there is one bucket within their cap cum that has enough in it to cover. So it would just be, I'd have to talk with the chief to see what else he has kind of earmarked for that money that's been budgeted already this year. If stuff doesn't keep breaking.
Okay, let's leave it as is for now.
I got another question on their generator. The generator for the lift station is 100,000, but there's a transfer switch. Do we have a transfer switch that goes for the fire department?
Yeah.
And that's included in the 88.
Yes. Yep. Other questions? Other than that, the only update I have that has nothing.
Oh, move on because
Okay.
we haven't
Oh, yeah.
made the final decision on the award of the contract.
Is the contract closed? Is the bidding?
Bidding was closed yesterday.
Okay.
So we have to make a decision on accepting that.
Awarding the contract to Everpar is the decision that you're being asked.
Pending that the remaining funds are found from somewhere else.
Why do we have to do that pending? What if we approve it, they award it, they don't find the funds and somehow they do it anyway? Do you care that they did it for what they, less than they asked for?
You mean did it for what, 65 instead of
Right. So,
75?
like, why do we care if, I mean, that seems like on them to find the money and on negotiations between it, like, what if the company said, you couldn't find 10 grand? Okay, we'll do it. Awesome.
I don't see that happening.
No, but why would we, like, I don't know why we,
The contract says 88.5. So if this body's only approving a partial amount, even though it's a majority, I don't think we can sign that until we have
okay,
secured all the money.
so I'm with you. So if they did lower the price, it'd be a different contract, which we didn't approve, so we're back to square one. Okay, sorry.
How long is that contract good for, or
Is
that?
that 60 days that you asked, that it asked for it to be open?
Yes.
Will we be back in time for the next one if we need to? I'm comfortable with them, with what we've done, so.
Okay.
That said, I feel like I should at this point explain the concern I have. What happened is in the documentation that was part of their Everpar's quote, our instructions said that all the quotes would have to stay open for 60 days. In the documentation that Everpar provided along with their quote, kind of in the fine print, they said it's only good for 30 days. So you've got a conflict between what they included with their documentation and what our instructions say. They could argue that, well, we made it clear that our offer was only, or quote was only good for 30. Well, we can counter say, we made it clear that it's open till 60, for 60. Then you're in a fight.
Well, all it does is invalidate their quote that they gave us a quote that didn't meet our, so we have to throw it out.
Well, you don't have to. You can
throw it out.
You could.
But they could
Either
also
accept it.
increase the price.
That's
Exactly.
right.
I'm sorry.
I said, they could also increase the price because it's exceeded their 30 days. Because the contract would be null and void.
Well, maybe.
I don't think we can force them into a 60 days when they didn't say 60 days.
Well, they provided documentation. It's a legal question.
Mm-hmm.
And whether we can force them is an open question. I can easily, in good faith, say, yes, we can. Judge may decide different. Because those extra documents are extraneous. Weren't documents that we asked for. All we asked for was quote form and the contract and 2 or 3 other attachments to it.
Interesting.
And they added more to it. So,
If they can't come up with the 28.5 or whatever the difference is at the next meeting and they say, hey, we can't do it, or we're gonna run too short or whatever, this body has the right to say, okay, we'll appropriate the extra money. We can vote on that, right?
Admit the extra money, yes.
Okay.
Good. Now the question is, let's see if it's really the days are gonna be an issue. So the next meeting of the commission is when? 14th. And we opened, I think that's gonna be beyond
The
30 days.
key thing in this very well could have been why the price went up on that quote or on their total net price that they provided the extras. It says quote is valid for 30 days. A new quote will be required upon expiration due to tariff volatility. And so that's where they feel like, I don't know if they would, before the quote we had, it said 30 days as well, but we'd been months and months and months, but then with,
I'm gonna make a motion to vacate the last vote on 75,000 on the project.
Question, can we make a new motion to appropriate an additional 13,500 on that? And keep both of them?
I would just
You
do,
could, I mean, it's
Well-
just,
So then
it'd be easier
And
to
half dozen
vacate
the
the other one,
whatever's easier.
right? Easier just to vacate the first one.
well, you'll still have to do something else.
Right.
So depending on how you look at it, some may want to know what the something else is going to be before they vote to rescind the prior motion.
Okay, so to vacate the 75,000 to add the extra 28,500,
Is it 28.5?
Extra 13,500.
team thought,
well, it'd be 13,500 now, but the full 28,500.
Right,
Uh,
above the price.
to the quote on the original price of 60,000, making the total of 88,500 to be given in full.
I think how you might want to.
Why don't you just tell me now?
That's what I'm about to do.
Tell me what I want to say.
What I think you're wanting to do is modify the prior motion to increase the funding commitment to the full 88.5.
Just what he said.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you would need that's your motion.
That's my motion.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Can I have a vote by roll call?
Tom Carroll,
Yeah.
Amanda Trimble,
No.
John Venter,
Yes.
Brian Webb.
No.
David Hawkins.
Yes.
That's 3-2.
Now I'll accept a motion for, what's their name again? Everbar. On the full amount of 88,500 for the fire department's equipment.
So that would be awarding the contract and delegating authority to Director of Operation, Director of Administration and your
Legal
attorney
counsel.
to finalize the contract with Empar.
So moved.
I have a motion to accept. Do I have a second?
There are questions?
I think I'm just confused because I don't agree with the amount. I don't really care what company does this. So am I just supposed to then say yes to whatever company that's on that contract, even though I don't agree with the amount? Like, I'm confused
Yeah,
with
that-
the voting.
Probably what's the difficulty is the rules that we have to follow in terms of bidding. And we don't have an option to go out to the market. We asked for bids, we got two, and if we don't like either of those two, we have to reject them and solicit additional bids.
I understand the bid that they gave us.
Okay.
I would like the fire department to put something into it, and that's my stance. So I'm confused on my next vote. Like, because yeah, we've got this contract and these people have given us this, but I mean, I don't care who does it if that's the company we want. What I care about is the money that's being spent.
It sounds to me like you're probably in a position where you may want to vote no on the motion.
That's what I'm, okay.
I would expect
Thank you for
that.
helping me understand,
I would
because
expect
it's just confusing to
if
me.
we were building anything, anybody, and you didn't like the amount we were spending on it,
Then you just say no.
I would say no if I didn't like what we were spending on it. If I thought we were paying too much for something, I might vote no. But
Not exactly what's in my head, but okay, I get it. I get it.
sorry, yeah.
Good. I got enough information. Okay.
Do we have a motion and a second?
Yes.
Okay.
Have a vote by roll call.
Who did it?
I moved.
John, and who's second?
Do I have a second? Thought I already did. I thought Tom seconded it.
No, I didn't.
No,
You can second.
I'll second it then.
Tom Carroll.
Yeah.
Amanda Trimble,
No.
John Venter,
Yes.
Brian Webb.
No.
Dave Hawkins.
Yes.
3-2.
Now, the last thing I have that has nothing to do with redevelopment, but it might, because maybe one day I'll come asking for money for another project. We are kicking the parks, Park and Recreation Board is kicking off their comprehensive plan for the parks. The survey is now it'll be live. It's actually live today, but tomorrow will be the first event, pop-up event where we'll be kind of talking about the plan and encouraging people to provide their input. It's community input time. The survey will be open through August 15th, I believe, August 15th. We'll be putting out information on our Facebook page and our website tomorrow. This is again just the community input section. So we'll be at different community events. Tomorrow night we'll be at the Whiteland Baseball movie night, their fundraiser that they're having. And we'll be at a couple of the back to school nights. So you may see us around town. We'll be at our summer fest that we have at the end of this month. So provide your input. We'll get you, I'll send it out to everybody that represents the town in some form or fashion, the link to provide your input. Ask for your participation.
Is it easy to include where these pop-up events will be in case we want to go see?
So the main ones that
No, I mean in your email.
oh yeah, I can do that.
Is that easy? I don't
We're
like.
gonna do at least a farmer's market. We're gonna do this fest event, which is July 25th, over at our maybe future park, the big grass area next to the fire department. And then we'll be at the Whiteland Football's Jamboree, which is August 9th. And Whiteland Elementary back to school night, possibly Ray Crow. I know that's in Greenwood, but a lot of those parents, they live in Whiteland or come to Whiteland, or we want them to come to Whiteland. There is a question on the survey that asks, do you live in Whiteland, or if not, like where they live, so.
Guess I forget that area remote.
Well, my son knows the baseball diamond, so.
Yeah, I do everything but.
Okay, all right, so that's all I have, if anybody has any questions.
Me, I have to have a question. Stephen? How many more generators do we need to buy for? And do we? Is this gonna be a problem every time we want to buy a generator?
Possible.
I can't answer that. I mean, obviously, right now, the tariffs seem to be increasing the price on generators. We bought a pull-behind generator with transfer switches to be added. They were added to all of our lift stations and then the water towers as well. So if we had another massive, catastrophic event that took us all down, we have a way to get this generator around and connected for lift stations and such. That one, we received money from the tornado relief funds. And then the transfer switches was just the transfer switches for eight of them was $147,000. So there's one at a stationary one at the lift station that we just installed. We'd like to have one here at the town hall. And we have one down at the sewer plant, but they may come in as part of a larger project. So it may not be piecemeal like how we've been doing them right now.
Is it to our benefit to let a bid out for a generator, knowing that it's gonna be 3 months away before we have to pay for the thing?
Possibly, but I'm not kind of fingers crossed that we won't have another. No, we need to really look at where would we put them and what, yes, Slim actually came to this body after the tornado it was almost $1 million worth of tornado or generators that, this is where we would like to see them, but, we come back to you little by little and,
But the price of the generators keep going up and up and up and up. And if we could lock in a price of a generator that we don't have to pay for 3 months, 4 months.
I would say with like the sewer plant, if we do a major renovation down there, we would upgrade generators that we have down there. If we were to ever move town hall, wherever we move to would have a generator. So I think it's just gonna become kind of part of a bigger project as we, but you know, if we say we install $100,000 generator here, one, where would we put it? I mean, we don't even have enough space in the parking lot for parking. Not right now because it's closed, but you know, where would we put something like that? And then is this a permanent location? Plan to move
What
it?
lift stations do we have?
We have 8.
So are they all sized the same?
No,
Oh, okay, well, okay.
any other questions? It's all
Our projects
Yeah,
currently,
right now.
and this is what we projected to, we've said, yes, we'll pay for these. And this-
And I'll have to increase the generator one. But yes, that's the
Okay.
for the projects right now.
Comment, I enjoyed my luxurious drive down West Street today.
We've already witnessed somebody flying down West Street today, like sitting in my office.
They were going
What's
fast.
that? Yeah, that's the joy of
Smooth road.
brand new paved roads. So hopefully the parking lot will be open tomorrow, but yeah, things we need to address with that. Thank you.
Comment, questions? We had a good meeting tonight. We didn't all agree, but
Yeah,
made it work.
good. We're all participating.
Yep.
Vote with our office.
Thank you all for being here. We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Even when